Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. And as you can see, I have officially completed the Studio Ghibli line of films. I have even got some of the early ones, considering that. But I am missing I think it's Earwig and the Witch. But I don't class that as a Ghibli film anyway, because it's computer animated, and Studio Ghibli is classic anime. So let's move in and start then, and we begin all the way back in 1968 with The Little Norse Prince, which is also known as Horus, Prince of the Sun. Is it good? I would say the Japanese with English subtitles version is fine. It's harmless. It's got a good story, but it's very forgettable. The animation looks quite dated. It is 50 years old, so I'll let it off. But the English language version that they released is probably the worst English dub besides the American Ariete. And I don't know about the English dub is just fucking dreadful. I watched it on Amazon Prime. It's not good. But the sad thing is that they didn't include the Japanese version, so I had to buy it on DVD. And I think it only has the Japanese version on DVD here in the UK. My camera needs to hurry up and fucking unblur. Yeah, it only has the Japanese version. And it has no special features, sadly. But yeah, The Little Norse Prince, should you tune into it, it's a hit and miss, really. But if you're a die-hard Ghibli fan and you want to find out how the directors got their footing, then it is a good film to watch for a foundation film. So yeah, that is The Little Norse Prince. We now skip 11 years later to 1979 for Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. Like I said, this was released in 1979. And I say, for a foundation film, it is much more fun, much more fast-paced than The Little Norse Prince. Is it better? Yes, a lot better. And because it is the directorial debut of Hayao Miyazaki, you can really see the elements that he's put in for future movies. Like the fast-paced fun of the Nausicaa and Castle in the Sky. You can really see it here with The Castle of Cagliostro. And I really recommend that you check this film out. It's unlike The Little Norse Prince, which is sort of a hit or miss. This one is an amazing film, and you should check it out. And I say it's like a 7, 8 out of 10. It really is good for Hayao Miyazaki's directorial debut, and I could talk about it all day. Castle of Cagliostro, check it out. We now skip all the way to 1984 for Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind. Now, people get a little bit confused here and think we're talking about the American version called Warriors of the Wind, which was released in 1985. No, we're talking about the original uncut 1984 version, which I agree is absolutely fantastic. I've seen Warriors of the Wind and it's fucking dreadful. And but the original Nausicaa and the English dub, which was released in 2005, that comes with it by Disney with Alison Lohman, is really good. It's also got Mark Hamill in it from Star Wars, who plays Luke Skywalker. And yeah, he does a really good job. And he's also in another one of these. I think he's in the next one as well. Nausicaa, for the first ever technically classed Ghibli film, it is really good. I thought the animation was amazing. The music was very 80s. You can definitely tell this is an 80s film when you watch it. With all the rest, you could kind of place them in any era, but this one especially is very 80s, and you should check this one out. It is really good, and it's 2 hours of your life that won't feel wasted. And that's Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind. We move to 1986 now for the first ever Ghibli production, and that was Castle in the Sky, released in the year 1986. This one was my first ever introduction to Studio Ghibli, and I thought it was fucking amazing. The animation in it is absolutely spectacular. It doesn't look dated like the early ones. It actually looks like there's been a lot of care put into it, similar with Nausicaa, to be fair. And it also feels, despite being the first ever technical Studio Ghibli film, it feels a lot like the earlier ones, in where it's more fast-paced than drama-driven, and I feel like that's what makes it unique. It's very grounded. but it's also very fast-paced and fun, and it's got Mark Hamill in it as well, who plays Colonel Musker. He's fantastic in the English dub. And I thought Anna Paquin and James Van Der Beek did really good jobs as well. But yeah, Castle in the Sky, it's one of those, check it out, because it is a true Ghibli masterpiece. Many people overlook it, but I think in the last couple of years anyway, it's gotten a cult following because of just how amazing it is, and people have realised that over the years. But yeah, Castle in the Sky, check it out. Next up, I don't know whether to talk about these two together. No, I'll do it separately. But yeah, the first one of our double features, released in 1988, was My Neighbor Totoro, and this film was a foundational film because it introduced the Studio Ghibli mascot, Totoro. And yeah, when I first watched this film, I found it really boring. I couldn't find the message in it. But I think the message in this film now, as I've watched it loads of times, is childhood innocence. And how to ignore the bad things that happen in life sometimes and just enjoy your childhood. And it is a very nostalgic film. And as we move more towards the 90s, you can start seeing how more of my memory comes with these films, because most of the 90s ones I really enjoyed. But yeah, My Neighbor Totoro is one of those where if you've got that childlike innocence, you can enjoy it a lot more than someone who is more adult and who'd prefer something more like Only Yesterday, for example. But we'll move on to that soon. But yeah, My Neighbor Totoro, I really think you should check it out. It's very much the first Ghibli film that is telling us a message. Nausicaa, obviously, it had the message of protecting the planet and stuff like that, and protecting the animals. Castle in the Sky doesn't really have a message, to be fair. It's just a fun action film similar to Castle of Cagliostro. But this is the first film that is teaching you a message about appreciating the simple things in life. And I totally think you should check it out. My Neighbor Totoro. Go watch it. It's an hour and a half of your life that won't be missed. Now we move on to the second of the double features, and possibly the better one. It is Grave of the Fireflies, also released in the year 1988. Now, when I say it's better, I think the story is better, but the overall feel of the film is fucking devastating. It's about these two kids that are suffering in 1945 World War II Japan. It's absolutely devastating to watch. There's a scene that had me sobbing where the little girl, I think her name's Setsuko, she's eating these sweets, but because she can't eat them all, she picks out the crumbs and saves the big sweet for later. And it's so upsetting to see, because it teaches you about how good your life is, because you don't want to end up like these kids in World War II. But overall, do I recommend it? Yes, but only watch it once, because it will absolutely ruin your heart. You will be sobbing for weeks. But yeah, it is an amazing film, and I think you should check Grave of the Fireflies out just the one time. But if you want to watch it more than once, you can do, but it'll ruin you every time you watch it. But check it out. Grave of the Fireflies is a catch film. Now we move on to possibly one of my favourites, and that is Kiki's Delivery Service, which was released in 1989. Oh, there's so much I can say about this film. It teaches a message of I think it's like power, I think, and how you can have your powers, but you've got to have the spirit to have them, and you've got to use them for good. And it teaches Kiki to be more responsible. But the thing that annoys me about the English dub is they did a scene where Gigi, the cat, gets his voice back, but in the original Japanese version, he doesn't talk. And I don't get why they made him talk again. I feel like they did that because people were upset when he lost his voice, but that ruins the overall message of the story. The overall message of the story is Kiki growing up and getting rid of that childish innocence. But the English dub is still good. It's got Phil Hartman, it's got Kirsten Dunst, and I think it is a very good film. Probably one of my two favourite Studio Ghibli movies, and we'll come to probably my favourite one in a short moment. But Kiki's Delivery Service, check it out. It's an hour and 45 minutes of your life that will just fly by. It's loads of fun. And Kiki's Delivery Service, what a good film. We move on now to another incredible one by Takahata, and that is 1991's Only Yesterday, The Tale of a Woman. It's about this woman who lives a life and she's like recollecting childhood memories. It is a really good film, to be honest. It's a very sad film. I've got the DVD copy where it doesn't have the English dub, but I did see the English dub on Netflix, and it is really well put together. But overall, is Only Yesterday a good film? Yes, it is. You should check it out, like all the other Ghibli films before this, and probably most of the Ghibli films after this. Only Yesterday was also the first film to use the Totoro logo, which is actually very. I thought it came out during My Neighbor Totoro, but it didn't. It came out during Only Yesterday. So yeah, Only Yesterday, bit longer than the other ones, can get a little bit dry at times, but if you're in the perfect mood for it, check it out. Not a bad film. Now we move on to my possible favourite Studio Ghibli movie, which is 1992's Porco Rosso. Yes, I absolutely loved this film because it has the perfect mix of drama, it has action, it has adventure, it has the music and animation, which are absolutely incredible. And it's just a mix of it all. It has like the drama of Spirited Away, the action of Nausicaa and Castle in the Sky, and yeah, and it's just short as well. I like the fact that it's able to tell such a compelling story in just a short amount of time. I like Porco's development and how he learns to accept who he is and how the curse doesn't define him. He just needs to become a better person in order to escape this curse, which it isn't like a witch curse either. It's just the way he sees himself. And I love how Theo makes him see a different version of himself, and that's what I love about Porco Rosso, really. It's a very, very good film. Very short, goes very fast, but overall, it is a very good watch, and I recommend it. 10 out of 10, my favourite Studio Ghibli movie so far. Next up is quite a weird one, because it's the first not to be directed by either of the founders, Takahata or Miyazaki, and that is 1993's Ocean Waves, which is a student project, and people say it's absolutely terrible, but it's not. It is hard to understand. It's something like, I think the main character in this, the boy in the cover, is definitely bisexual because there is some sort of gay like supplements in the film going on. But overall, I think Ocean Waves tells a story about high school days and like the kid going back to his hometown and meeting this girl, and the girl is quite a terrible person, to be honest. She slaps him, hits him. It's just horrible to watch. But overall, Ocean Waves, it tells a compelling and deep story. And for an hour and 12 minutes, get it out of the way. It's harmless. It's good. Check it out. Now we move on to a slightly different one. Released in 1994, we have Pom Poko. Now, the people automatically assume, because of obviously some of the inappropriate animation that's in this film, that this film is deeply inappropriate. It's actually not. It is weird. It is really fucking weird, but it tells a compelling message about protecting the planet like Nausicaa does. But I think it does it in a lot more of a weirder way. I feel like after Only Yesterday, Takahata's films sort of slip and slide a little bit. The sort of the just fine films. I don't think he's released that many good ones. I feel like Grave of the Fireflies and Only Yesterday is only good ones. Pom Poko, though, it is fine. It's telling a message, but it kind of overshadows that message by weird humour. But should you check it out? Yeah, maybe. Maybe if you're looking for just a fun Studio Ghibli film, if you're not looking for one of the more popular ones, then Pom Poko is one that you should check out. Yeah. We probably move on now to one of probably my third favourite, and that is the 1995 classic Whisper of the Heart. Oh my goodness, I loved this film from first watch. It was absolutely amazing. The music and the fact that they used Take Me Home Country Roads, especially the Olivia Newton-John version, because it sounds a lot better. It's amazing. The fact that it's about the cat returns as well. I feel like that I've got a theory going here with this film where the cat returns is the story that Shizuku wrote in Whisper of the Heart, and that's the story that she tells the old man. Because we don't really get to see much of the story, but Whisper of the Heart, it totally is a film you should check out. It's one of those more drama ones, more romance ones, but it's actually done in such a different way where it makes it more fun. and it's about like Shizuku's struggles as well, and how she eventually learns to become a good writer. But overall, I think you should check Whisper of the Art out. It is really, really good. Probably one of the most violent of the Studio Ghibli movies, and that is 1997's Princess Mononoke. Should this film be rated a PG? No, it should be rated a fucking 15, because this film is gory as fuck. It is very good though. I thought the main character could have got a lot more time. But I feel like Ashitaka is a very likable protagonist as well, and I like how, for once, even though it is focusing on a female, it has a male protagonist, because most of the films, I think minus Little Norse Prince, Castle of Cagliostro, and I think Castle in the Sky, Porco Rosso, most of them have had female protagonists, which I'm not fussed about, because their female protagonists are portrayed as strong, likable women. Not like other animes where they make the women inappropriately sexual. They actually make the women grounded characters who learn and develop, and that's what I like about Princess Mononoke as well. The character of San, she learns and develops and learns that humans are all that bad because she's raised by wolves. It's a bit like, it reminds me a little bit of Tarzan, but a more violent Tarzan. But also the film gives me Nausicaa feels, but a more violent Nausicaa. So it's like a mix between Nausicaa and Tarzan. I really think you should check out Princess Mononoke, because it's one of those really long ones, but it's a good really long one. It's like Harry Potter, you can enjoy it. It's like oh, what's a really long film as well? Like The Karate Kid, you can really enjoy it. Princess Mononoke is really good, really enjoyable. You should check it out. We move on to not one of my personal favourites, and that is 1999's My Neighbours the Yamadas. What can I say about this film? It is so boring. It was the most unenjoyable film for me so far. Watching from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, no film has been this boring yet. Not even My Neighbor Totoro, and I found that boring when I first watched it. But this one, I don't seem to get what's going on. I really don't seem to get what's going on. It feels like a 1 hour and 30-minute length version of The Loud House. It's a slice of life, and I don't really think that is cut for a 1 hour and 30-minute movie. I mean, I think it's longer than that. I think it's like 1 hour and 45. I'm not sure. Let me have a look. Let's see how long it is. It's 104 minutes, so it's an hour and 44 minutes. It's longer than My Neighbor Totoro, which was boring, but it was an hour and a half, and I've actually gotten to the message of that movie, but I haven't managed to get to the message of this. It was just very boring and very unenjoyable, but it's not bad. It's just unenjoyable, but you should check it out. It's if you like slice of life stuff, that is, not if you want a more compelling story. Now we move on to probably the most popular Studio Ghibli film, Spirited Away. Probably the worst Studio Ghibli movie ever made. Of course, I was just joking. Spirited Away, there isn't alt wrong with it. It is the best Studio Ghibli movie probably ever made. It's probably the most popular as well for reasons that it is amazing. The story, the animation, the music. Don't even get me started. I don't think I know anyone who hasn't seen Spirited Away. It is an amazing film. And I feel after Spirited Away, Studio Ghibli hasn't been as good. And I think the last time they actually hit it for me was with Howl's Moving Castle. But Spirited Away, it's a tale of growth. It's a tale of finding identity and learning how not to be scared. And I liked how the main character Kohaku was the Kohaku River. And then he just fucking goes from like, I don't know, I think it was like a bird. And then he just fucking shatters into a human being again. That was really cool for the animation. But Spirited Away, there's nothing bad I can say about it. It is absolutely amazing. You should check it out. 2 hours and 5 minutes of your life that is not wasted with this film. Spirited Away is really amazing. Next up, we have 2002's The Cat Returns, the story that I believe is Shizuku's book. Did Shizuku fuck it up this bad though? Because it's not that good, to be honest. It's fine, it's harmless, but I think that's because it's sort of that bridge film between two really amazing films, similar to My Neighbours the Yamadas. It's just sort of there. It just sort of exists, and I feel like if Shizuku would have directed it, it'd have been way better. but Shizuku's not real. But The Cat Returns is better than My Neighbors the Yamadas. It's shorter than My Neighbors the Yamadas. It's telling a compelling story, but it just doesn't fit for me. And I feel like it could fit for people who are into sequels, but I don't think Studio Ghibli should try sequels again. It's just not a good fit for them. But yeah, The Cat Returns, harmless, fine, not a bad film. But yeah, it's a hit or miss. Similar to The Little North Prince, similar to My Neighbors the Yamadas. It's just a hit or miss. Next up is another one of my favourites, and that is... Oh, wrong one. Is another one of my favourites, and that is 2004's Howl's Moving Castle. This film, when I first watched it, I thought it wasn't going to be as good as people said it was, and I ended up really enjoying it. I like it for the fact that it's got a simple plot. It's about learning to cope with age and identity and stuff like that, and learning how not to be insecure about yourself. And I feel like that is what Howl and Sophie's biggest flaws are. They are very insecure people, but Sophie learns much quicker to become more confident as the story goes on. But overall, I loved Howl's Moving Castle, and I thought it was an absolutely amazing film, and you should check it out. Bang on 2 hours long, so if you start at 7, you'll finish it at 9, and you'll love it. And you can go to sleep dreaming about a moving castle. Next up is a slightly more controversial one, and that is Tales from Earthsea, and I think this starts the downfall of Ghibli for me. Released in 2006, this one doesn't really feel like a Ghibli film. I feel like it feels more like the post-Renaissance Disney a little bit. It's not as bad as people say it is, but I can genuinely not remember the plot of this film. I was just genuinely uninterested. It's not bad. I thought the animation was incredible, like most Ghibli films, but it just feels very stale. The plot feels very stale. It feels like they're starting to run out of steam a little bit. I feel like after 2006, it just starts to feel that way, because I cannot remember anything that happens in most of these newer ones compared to the older ones. Like Porco Rosso, I can remember most of what happens in that, but in this, I just kind of can't remember. Like Little North Prince, it's a hit or miss. If you want to see it, see it. But I don't think you remember that much. I didn't, but it's fine. It's harmless. Not a bad film, but hit or miss. Next, we move on to probably another popular one, but I didn't seem to like this one, and it's 2008's Ponyo. Yeah, fine. This is where I start getting really unenjoyable, but Ponyo, it just feels like The Little Mermaid a little bit. It just feels like they're starting to rehash storylines that Disney have made. It's just not... The animation is spectacular, but it's just not that enjoyable. I feel like it's too childish for me, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. But the English language cast is amazing. They do a really great job, but Ponyo is just not my type of film, and I probably won't watch it again. It's just not my cup of tea. And I'll probably stick to the older ones, to be fair. But it's a film you should check out if you're willing to see it. But Ponyo, harmless. But yeah. 3 times in a row now with the more unforgettable ones. And we've got 2010's Arrietty. Probably the best of those 3 films. It's a tale of the borrowers, but it's still not my cup of tea either. I felt like the UK dub was way better than the American dub, and the Japanese version, I've never seen it in Japanese. But Arrietty, it's another one. It's harmless. It's fine. Hiromasa Yonibayashi is a really good director. He directed Mary and the Witch's Flower, which is very similar to Kiki's Delivery Service. And he also directed the last of the original lot of Ghibli films, which will come to soon. But Arrietty, it's fine. But I hope we can get back to some hits soon. And as I speak, we do, as we get on with From Up on Poppy Hill, which was released in 2011. Much better than what has come before. It is very enjoyable, very deep, very good story about a treehouse. But I love how Studio Ghibli can make these simple stories, and I really like how Goro Miyazaki has grown as a director, because Tales from Earthsea, very stale adventure, but From Up on Poppy Hill is very, very good, very creative, but I think that's because Hayao Miyazaki had something to do with it. Because Goro Miyazaki could not be trusted to make a film on his own. Tales from Earthsea and Earwig and the Witch kind of evidence for that. But From Up on Poppy Hill is probably the best of his films, and it is absolutely incredible, and I suggest you check it out. It is one of the later Studio Ghibli films that I have seen and that I have really enjoyed. But yeah, I feel like they're coming back a little bit now after 3 okay-ish films. They're starting to come back. And it gets better because we've got The Wind Rises next, which was released in 2013. This is the film that is probably the most similar to Porco Rosso, but it's Porco Rosso if it was done a lot deeper. And I feel like the stuff about the planes really interested me, and I feel like Hayao Miyazaki, this was supposed to be his last film, but he made The Boy and the Heron, which we'll get to soon. But yeah, The Wind Rises, it is a very, very charming movie. And I love the fact that it's about mechanical engineering and airplane engineering. It's very educational on that topic. But yeah, The Wind Rises, amazing score, amazing animation, amazing film, like I've said about most of these. But yeah, you should check The Wind Rises out. Good 1 hour and 50-minute film. I think it's longer, but I'm not sure. Now, this is probably the only Ghibli film that I haven't yet seen, and that is The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. Released also in 2013 by Isao Takahata. I don't know if this was a double feature like they did with Totoro and Fireflies, but I hadn't seen this one yet, but I've heard it is very deep, very compelling, a lot like Grave of the Fireflies, Only Yesterday, Whisper of the Heart, stuff like that. And it has an animation style similar to My Neighbours the Yamadas, which is very interesting. I hope he's done that right again, Takahata. This is also his last film before his death as well, because he died in 2018. But is it good? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll probably watch it at some point this Christmas. I'm going to watch it in Japanese first, then I'll watch it in English, but I'll see it soon, and I'll give you a review. We move on to the final Ghibli film for a while. Well, not actually, because we've got The Boy and the Heron to cover. But we've got When Marnie Was There, which is probably the most lesbian Studio Ghibli film ever made. It stars Haley Steinfeld from Pitch Perfect 2, which is an okay film itself. But I think she does a really good job in this. I feel like the English language dub is very good for this film. But like most of the modern ones, it's very unforgettable. I don't really remember what happens in it. I think it's about like an island that, or like a house that operates like high tide or something. I don't know. I barely remember this film. But it has got some spectacular animation. You should check it out. 2014, When Marnie Was There. Last one for a while. But it sort of is a Hiromasa Yonibayashi fine film. It's just fine. Like most of the current ones. From 2006 onwards, most of the films have been fine. So yeah, When Marnie Was There, fine. Yeah, check it out if you want to. I'm not going to force you. Like the early ones, I would force you to check them out, but the later ones, hit or miss really. We move on now to the final of Studio Ghibli movies, and that is Hayao Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron, which was released in 2023, almost 9 years after When Marnie Was There. And I've got to say, it really is a legacy film. It kicks back to the early 2000s, the late 90s, when Studio Ghibli was at its peak with Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, Whisper of the Heart. It's one of those, it's an adventure film. It also takes you back to the 80s with Castle in the Sky and stuff like that. It truly is an incredible movie. And I thought the English dub was done really well. I don't know who's in it though. I think Mark Hamill's in it. He plays the Heron, I'm not sure. But he's done a lot of work for Studio Ghibli. He's been in 3 films now. He needs to retire from Studio Ghibli like he has done Star Wars. But yeah, The Boy and the Heron truly brings back classic Studio Ghibli. We've had a little bit of a slide down in quality in the early 2010s. Apparently, to me, I don't like many of the later ones, like From Up on Poppy and The Wind Rises are exceptions, and The Boy and the Heron is an exception, and The Tale of Prince Kaguya, I ain't seen it. But since 2006, like I've said, they haven't been that good, but The Boy and the Heron brings them back to that state of goodness again. But yeah, Boy and the Heron, check it out. Good 2-hour film. And we are now at the end of this video. As you have noticed though, the Studio Ghibli films are not in number order. but that is because the number order doesn't correlate with the release. But we are cutting up on half an hour now, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment on this. And if you would like to see more DVD collection videos, let me know, because I have lots. Have a good day, and I will see you guys next time.